Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and time for a knife review. We are going to look at the Bestechman Guardian today. And this knife, it offers a blade length of 3.21 inches. Open it is 7.58 inches and closed 4.37 inches. The steel on it, it is a D2 PVD finish on there, and it is a modified Wharncliffe blade, they call it. And the weight of this is 3.5 ounces, so not a super heavy knife. It's relatively light. The handle on this, it is a G10 with a carbon fiber pattern, if you can see that. I don't know, my lighting and my camera. There we go. So it has a carbon fiber pattern to it, but it is actually G10. It has a right hand tip up deep carry pocket clip, and it is a button lock knife. So one of Bestechman's button locks that they have, and it also has the thumb hole for opening. And it has some jimping on the back of the blade here, which I'm a fan of the jimping. We have a finger choil here, which is a nice addition. We have the lanyard hole there, and it has ball bearing pivot, which is very smooth. Whoops, when you operate the knife properly, you can get that working very good. It is centered, so blade sits there nice and straight, and there is no blade play when it's open. It's in there nice and solid, which is what we like to see in all our knives. All right, well, let's do some size comparison. We have, let's do it this way, the Ontario Rat 2. And we've got the Benchmade Bug Out. So you can see that these are relatively close to the same size. So it's a mid-size knife, but we'll do a couple other ones here just to give you an idea. We have the Sencut Saxy, which is a little bigger knife. Not a whole lot bigger than this one. And we have the Civivi Cogent. And so you can see there is a little bit of length on those blades there as compared to the Guardian. So Bestechman, for those that aren't aware of it, it is a branch of the Bestech knives. This is more their budget knives. And so still really good quality. You can find the Bestech knives are well built, and so these are as well. And sharp. Now I have used this knife for different things, but as you can see, it cuts through the paper quite easily. And we will try good old zip tie. Actually, I did use this. I should have filmed it. Did use this to cut some zip ties that were on some packages the kids had, but you can see it goes through that quite easily. And we've got the nylon cord, and we want to be careful. There is a bit of a belly, but yeah, just pushing on the knife, it cuts through there. You can see it does have a little bit of a belly. So you want to watch that if you're cutting ropes and that, it's not gonna slide up. And I see I still got gluing that on from opening packages on different occasions. So yeah, this knife, I think the thing that attracted me most to this is that is the blade profile. I like the aesthetics of this knife. Handle's a very basic design, but I like what they did with the blade here. They have a little bit of a curve here in the end, just gives it a little bit more aesthetics. You got the swedges on top, which is nice. The choil down here, which is good. And yeah, it just gives it a little different look, having that little hook down at the end here. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the Spyderco Smock, slightly, you know, a little bit. If you can't see it, I don't blame you, but whatever. So yeah, I like the aesthetics of this knife. Feels good in the hand. I think it looks good. It's a simple design, but like I say, what they've done with the blade and even the handle, you know, it's generic, but it still looks good what they've done. I like Bestechman's pivot caps. They just give a little extra aesthetic to the knife, and so aesthetically I found that I liked what it had to offer. Ergonomics on this. Ergonomics are really good. Feels very comfortable in the hand. You've got good control of the knife. The choil up front there makes it a little easier to, if you're doing fine slicing, it gives you a little more control. And I like the jimping. I would like maybe just slightly bit more jimping. I don't know if you can see on there. The jimping stops just past the handle. So it's not a lot of jimping. It's enough, but it could have had a little bit more for my liking. The grip on this, it is somewhat of a texture on there. So your hands don't slide quite like they do on, say, you know, aluminum handles or that. So it's a decent grip. It's not a great grip. The design of the handle gives you a nice grip. You got good solid grip using the choil there, and the knife feels good in the hand. So yeah, you're pretty good with the grip there. It shouldn't slip out of your hand as long as you're paying attention and have a good solid grip on it. The pocket clip on this, one of my favorite things that I usually have to complain about, but I don't on this knife, is they have countersunk the pocket clip, and I don't know if you can see that or not. Put a finger behind it to give you a bit of a look, but yes, it's countersunk, so it's not going to do drag in that on your pocket, which extends the life of your pocket. So it's a little thing, but it's something that I like when they take the time to do that. The pivot on this is very smooth out of the box. It was, you know, no issues. It just opened up and fired no problems, closes no problems. And so yeah, very good pivot on there. The ball bearing pivot, very nice. And the fit and finish on here, it's all very nicely done. There's no rough edges. That's all put together nicely and fits together well. Everything in its place. And so yeah, it was well done. I like what they did with this. My only couple complaints, and maybe it's because most of my knives are a little bit thinner. This is a little thicker knife. And the more that I handled it, it wasn't bad, but it does feel like a bulkier knife, I guess, just because it is bulkier. But you feel it in the pocket, and it feels bulkier in your hand. But if you have a big hand in that, you probably appreciate a knife this size because it's just more to hang on to. And so, yeah, a big handle there might not be an issue, or a thicker handle might not be an issue for some people. But what it is an issue with, at least for me, And if somebody else owns one of these, they can tell me. But the thickness here, it makes it really hard to get your thumb on there to use the thumb hole. And so, yeah, not easy access to the thumb hole. So I find using the reverse flick a lot easier. And so when opening this knife, I just use the reverse flick. And you can use the button to open it too, the button lock. But I find for me the reverse flick is the easiest way. So Bestechman, it'd be nicer if they beveled this a little bit more so you could get a good purchase on the thumb hole. But yeah, it's not the easiest to reach with your thumb. So not happy with that part of it. It definitely needs more bevel there. And I would like to see just a thinner scales on there. For my liking, it would be more what I prefer. But that's me. And it's not a horribly thick knife. It's bulkier than most that I carry. So enough said about that. Would I use this as an everyday carry knife? Yes, I would. I did carry it around here for a couple weeks and found that it was very useful, very helpful. It does the jobs good. This little bit of a extension point there is great for getting under. I had to cut the cardboard holders off of some of my grandkids' toys and that, and it was great for getting in and cutting these crazy zip ties. So yes, it is a good knife. I would recommend it for somebody that's looking for a more inexpensive but good quality knife, for a budget knife. I forget the price of them off the top of my head. I want to say they're around $70 Canadian, between $70 and $80 Canadian. And I will post a link to that down below. You can check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, you know what? Check out the Bestechman lineup and the Bestech knives. I have had no issues with any of my Bestech or Bestechman knives and found them to be good quality. So yeah, I do recommend them. And you will pay a little bit more for the Bestech over the Bestechman, but that's the way these works. That's why this is the budget line. So check them out. That is the Bestechman Guardian. So that is it for this review. Thank you for joining me. Check out some of the other reviews and unboxings. We will be doing more of those coming up, so keep an eye out for those. Hit the like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you, and we will do this all over again with another knife. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.